Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing another retrofit on this BMW E87 1 Series. Now the retrofit I'm going to be doing today is something that a lot of people look up and is very, very popular. Now these BMW 1 Series, which is the E87, until 2011 didn't get this certain part inside the car. Now majority of them did get one part, but nobody really used that and nobody really wants that because it's a lot of headache and a lot of faffing around just to do what you need to do. So I'm going to be installing a certain part to this BMW E Series today, which is a USB to make this car have USB like it is from the factory from 2011 onwards. Now, if you remember my other 1 Series, my M135i, I had one in the glove box, one under the armrest, one everywhere on that car, to the point this one doesn't have one. And obviously, when you want to play music via USB, you can't actually do that. And it comes through very, very well, like crystal clear. And I know that because of my other 1 Series. Now, the only thing this car has got is an AUX port. And obviously, with AUX these days, it's fading away very, very quickly and nobody uses it anymore because everyone wants Bluetooth audio or USB where you can have all your tracks on a USB and you don't even have to touch it. It plays as soon as you get in the car. So that's one of the reasons we're going to be retrofitting that today, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It can't connect to my stereo at the moment because I don't have the head unit for USB, but I'm going to show you how to install it, how to code it in your car. And once you've done that, if you get a head unit that is actually compatible for USB, which you have to look online for a professional radio, that has USB connection. Some of them will have DAB as well, and so on and so on and so on. You'll be able to connect that USB cable straight to the back of your head unit and the USB function will work perfectly coming through your professional stereo. So let's get onto it and I'm going to show you how to retrofit that into your BMW E87.
Goddamn, get it done, will ya? Woo. When the blow up now, everybody's so unusual with it. Shit. But said times in his rhymes cause his memories. We running through New York, so you know.
So the first thing we're going to get is our trim tools, and the reason we need these is because we're going to want to remove all the trim around here. So you're going to want to pull up and remove your gear stick. Then what you're going to want to do is take off this, which is obviously to do with all the gear selector. Now you're going to want to take out all your connections. I'm going to take that out. Then you're going to have to remove all the bolts that hold all this down in place, which I believe are 10mm bolts, and they're everywhere in the corner. I believe you can take that up as well to get to them, which you can, and then you've got 10mm bolts exposed down here, and T20 or T15s I believe they are, holding the whole center console on, because we're going to be taking out the center console because we need to get to run the USB wire up to the head unit. So I'm going to release every bolt here. You'll see me pulling everything apart and you'll see probably where every bolt is. So obviously the handbrake gate has got to come up as well. There's one bolt underneath there. You are going to have to cut the cable tie which holds this gator around the handbrake, otherwise you won't be able to get the cover off enough to actually pass the center console over it enough to be able to clear it. So we're going to do that as well. So let's get on to removing all the bolts here, and then we'll take out this right here, which is the AUX port underneath the armrest. We're going to take that out after, because we don't need it out right now, and we're just going to unbolt everything and then get it out. So the first thing is these 10mm bolts, and that's another one out. Now these bolts right here, as you'll see, you need to hold them and you need to get these T20s out because these are brackets that actually align this part of the trim to the actual center console. So we need to get them out, and then we need to remove other bolts down here and everywhere else. So you'll see down here, there's another one under here underneath the handbrake gator, which we're just going to release. And again, they're not on tight, so do bear that in mind. They're really not. So you can probably unscrew them just by hand, because they're only small little bolts that are holding plastic down. So there you go, I managed to remove it by hand. And you'll see on this one has a washer, so do remember where that one goes. Now that one's out, now we're going to come to the back here, and there's a cover around the back here that you need to come and take off for to release them on the back here. So they're the same kind of bolts as you just saw me take out from down here on the handbrake gator. Now what we need to do is there's a bolt down here on the corner, and it's got a little cover on it. Now it may be different depending on what country you're in, and that's held on by another T20 bolt as well on the corner here, which we're going to be taking out. We're just going to remove that. You can see there, I've just pulled it out from there, and you want to keep your black cover with it. And the reason I'm putting everything on the driver's seat is because we're not going to interfere with that when we take this out. And you've got another two here, just pulling out, which will remove the brackets holding everything in. Just like that. And you've also got another 10mm bolt just down here underneath this clip, which goes onto the cup holders, which you're going to have to remove as well. You have to be careful with this one because this one's deep in there. You may need to use a magnetic tool to grab it. So we'll just use our magnetic tool. And there's another bolt there of a washer, as you see. So now we've got that. And as you can see, the center console is now free. Now all we need is a pair of pliers just to cut this band off. Now, if you do want to put another cable tie on that, you can, but you don't have to. What we're going to do, we're just going to try and move this out. Now, there will be wiring connectors, especially here as well. You're going to want to get these brackets out when you take the center console out. Now, on the sides down the bottom here, on each side of the footwells, you're going to have like little clips. They're just plastic clips that hold everything together, which we're just going to remove. So everything can slide out. You can see here, they're just literally plastic clips. There'll be one on the driver's side as well. And you can see there, that one right here is another one out. Now, what should happen is this should come out just like that, as you can see. Now, to get it over the gear shift is going to be the hardest part, but it is doable. These are the brackets I was on about that are going to come out, which hold the center console in place. And when you do put this back, you're going to have to be careful with all your wiring. So as you can see, I've got wiring under here on the back from all my AUX ports and everything. So right now I've just disconnected the AUX and the 12-volt socket. There's nothing to remove in that. We are going to have to get this into D, so I'm going to have to reconnect up this quickly just so I can shift it over. As you can see, we're now in drive. So now we should be able to remove the center console. Make sure all your wiring harnesses are out of the way. As you can just see, it's all there. And as you can see, that's the center console out. Okay guys, so now we've got the center console out. This is the part I've been trying to get to, which is this right here, which is the AUX port and the cable. Now to get to it, it's not easy. See, it just got to pop out. And you can see here, this one's only got an AUX port cable, which says AUX in. Now, the new one I got has got USB, and it should slot directly in place of that one, which it does. And then you'll be able to connect your AUX cable back into there. And you've also got to make sure you've got this USB cable, because what we're going to do is run this underneath the center console. Now that one goes into the back of the stereo, and this one goes in to the actual USB side itself. This is using obviously a FACRA connector to connect the USB up. So what we're going to do now is put that back in the car and run all the wiring to the head unit. Okay guys, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is replace the center console back in. Now we've done all that, you just want to make sure you get it all the way over, which I just done. It's very, very easy. And now what I'm going to go ahead and do is reconnect everything underneath for obviously our cigarette lighter, our AUX port, everything that's actually needed. So I'm just going to reconnect that all now, and we're going to start running the cable. So the way I'm going to run the cable is going to be in parallel with everything else. So what I want to do is take it up through here, which you're going to see. You want to make sure it's out the way of the gear stick and following all the other cables. That way, one, it doesn't get trapped between the handbrake. Two, no other cables trap it either. That's the AUX in. Now we need our power supply for our 12-volt lighter. Now it's all about getting the center console all lined up again before you sit it back down. Now that's all in. We've got our cable right here, which is going to run underneath, as you can see, and to the head unit. So what we need to do now that's here, we need to then run this to the top of the head unit, which what we might do is we're going to bring it down here underneath the center console, I believe. And run it up the top here. So it's round here now, ready to come up to the head unit. It's for our USB. So now that's done. Now we just need to make sure all our other wires are out for the gear shifter. So to take out the trim, you're just going to want to use trim tools if possible. Do not try and use screwdrivers to remove it. Just like that. And you should be able to feel where it lifts up. There you go. And it just pops straight off. Now you've got all your pins on there as well, so just be aware of that and all your things stay in there. Now all we need is a Torx 20 again, just to remove the stereo. So we'll just disconnect our stereo very easily. Do remember you don't need a radio code when you remove a BMW radio. It's coded already to the car. So anyone who thinks they need that, they don't. Take the IHKA out. And you've got Phillips screws behind here as well. Get a Phillips screwdriver to remove your stereo. And the best thing to do is before you do this retrofit is to check, because you might already have USB, so it's worth checking. And if you do, you can plug it straight in and get going straight away. Some cars already prepped with them. BMW don't tell you that though. I'm just checking if this one is. So as you can see on the back here, this one doesn't have a USB connector. So you can see there, this is just a normal stereo connectors, but it ain't connected to anything else. So yes, we're going to be putting in a new stereo in here. And we're going to have to change it. This one isn't Bluetooth either. That's now our USB cable, which now we've got up here, which we'll leave over the back here, because obviously we're going to be using that when we get the new stereo, and that's where we will continue, and I'll show you how to code it all in. But all that's been successfully done. Now, one thing to remember, this has already got an AUX, so you don't have to code that in or do any different wiring. It's already got the wiring there. If you do order a USB adapter, it is going to come with the AUX cable. You don't need that if you've already got an AUX. You can just use your one that we've already got, plug it straight in. It will be the same thing for this. If you don't have it, it's got a white plug. You just plug it into the back of the harness here, and you just run that cable along with the USB one as well. But you've seen there, that's how easy it is to do. It's not hard at all. That's all there is to it. And now we've done that, now what I'm going to do is pull it all back, because I don't need to really access it until we get a new stereo. And that's it, guys. That's the install for the USB on this BMW E87. It will be the same for the E60, and it will be the same for the E90s as well. If you want to retrofit a USB into your car, this is how you would do it. Okay guys, so as you've seen now, I'm now showing you how to retrofit the USB, and this will be the same for an AUX port if you don't have one in your BMW E-Series. Now, the good thing is when you do order this piece, it's only like £30 on eBay or Amazon. It comes with an AUX cable with the plug. In case you don't even have AUX, you can just plug it straight into the back of your ISO connector on the back of your radio, and you'll have AUX straight away, just with a bit of coding. And that is the same for the USB. If you have the AUX but don't have the USB, this exactly will be the same. And I will be showing you how to code it on another video when I get a new head unit, when I can find one, which has USB output, so I can plug this USB in. But I'm also going to be doing another retrofit to this car, because this car doesn't have something that I actually want on it. So I am looking for a specific professional radio, because I want to retrofit something else to this BMW E87 as well. So it's not just USB, there's going to be another retrofit coming, and maybe many of you guys are going to want to follow also. But if you don't have AUX and you don't have USB, buy that kit. Get another professional radio that does have USB and AUX, and just connect your AUX cable, as it comes with it, as I said, with the connector in the back. And the coding is very, very easy, which I'll be showing you in the next video how to code the AUX and the USB, because they're both literally the same. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and when we do install the new radio, I will be back with a video showing you how to code it and how to fit the new radio. So thank you very much for watching. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.